Hey there, everyone. If you're watching this, then you're interested in learning a little bit about the scholarship system. Now, I have Marietta Evans with me today, and this is a unique situation because Marietta, you work for a school and in a school district, and we actually were able to give last year over 100 students access, not including copies of the book. And then this year we're doing the same thing. And so I just wanted to kind of dissect the experience, talk about did it help, how did it help, and why you think it did, if it did, and maybe some success stories. So with that, maybe we could just start off with what's your role and what do you do? And I know that that's a loaded question because there's a lot, but we'd love to know your background first.
Absolutely. Well, thank you so much for talking with me this afternoon about the scholarship system in our school district, Spartanburg School District 2. My name is Marietta Evans. I am the Director of Guidance for Boiling Springs High School, and I am also the Senior School Counselor. So my role in the high school is to work with seniors and their families as they, navigate, their senior year in preparation for graduation.
Amazing. And that is, we were saying before this, how rewarding I could imagine it is just to see hundreds and hundreds of seniors every year move on to the next stage of life and pursue their dreams. So I kudos to you and all the counselors out there. I just was saying, I don't know how y'all do it. It's amazing.
Well,
So
you're right. It's rewarding, extremely rewarding to see them at the beginning and then at the end when they have, their plans are a little bit more concrete and they have an idea and some goals in terms of their post-secondary goals. So, of course, the scholarship system has been extremely instrumental in that process for students and families.
well, let's talk about that. But before Spartanburg decided to bring in the scholarship system for their juniors and seniors, what did it look like before that? I mean, you have so many students. If they asked you about scholarships or if you decided to cover it, how did that look before bringing this in?
Well, I think initially, for any school counselor working with seniors, uh, scholarships can be a very daunting task. In fact, some of the first questions that parents ask as their students or seniors is, "Can you tell me how do we find scholarships? Where do we go to look for scholarships? What scholarships are available?" And of course, we put out numerous websites for scholarships, and we have scholarship newsletters, and we post the scholarships that come into our office. And I will say that even though we're helping students, we're working with them one on one with their individual graduation plans, we're posting those websites. Um, it, it's so much information that it's information overload,
Yeah.
and one of the biggest concerns is that parents, they just don't know where to begin, and students don't know where to begin. And so before the scholarship system, I would say they were navigating somewhat in the dark in terms of not having a specific process. One of the benefits, the biggest benefit, I believe the scholarship system has brought to our school is it gives students a guide, a starting point on how do we find scholarships. Just even the terminology can be difficult for students. The differences, scholarships, loans, grants, just that whole financial piece. So really breaking down the system, so to speak, of scholarships, and how to begin to navigate that process, but with a step by step that students and parents can actually follow, I think has been tremendous for them.
I love it. I love it. And that's the whole thing, right? It's that there's information out there, but it is so much and it can be so overwhelming. A lot of students just need, what do I do now? What's the first step? What's the next step? Let's just give them tunnel vision so that they
Right.
can actually make it through the tunnel rather than just seeing it and not even just turning around saying, nope, nope, this is too much. So you put it just so well. The whole reason why it works is that it has a process behind it versus just saying, okay, go get money to pay for college, because that doesn't work.
Exactly. And, we even found that, our students were applying for scholarships and applying and applying, and they were spending so much time, uh, applying and maybe not seeing those results that it's easy to get discouraged
Yeah.
and, to kind of give up on that process.
Absolutely. And I will say though that your district, even before the scholarship system, I mean, it's clear doing this, you all care a lot about scholarships and helping students not just get to college, but hopefully reduce the amount they have to borrow. So I do have to say that for anyone watching this, that this district already was pretty exceptional in this department. So I'm honored that I could even contribute to that. I have to give credit where credit's due. Now, that said, with the scholarship system, what with families, what have you heard from them? What did you hear? Any kind of feedback from students or parents after they went through the scholarship system?
Several things. When we first started this process, we wanted to make sure that we advertised this to our students. And so we were in the classrooms advertising the scholarship system. We worked with our students during lunch. We had night sessions with our parents. We had financial aid sessions with parents. But this time, instead of the typical financial aid session where you're talking just about, the FAFSA and getting your PIN number, et cetera. This time we had a concrete method that works that we could share with them on, okay, these are the steps, this is the process. And if you work it, it will work for you. And that was the biggest, and
I
it
love that.
has we've had lots of success, students who are attending post-secondary in state, out of state, local colleges, far away. I mean, it has been tremendous.
Mm.
I will say it's been so popular that the beginning of this year with our current juniors and seniors, many of them heard about it from last year. And so they're asking, are we doing that scholarship thing again? Are we going to have that again? And, we'll tell them it's coming. Hold on. We got to get everything taken care of. But it's caught on.
That's
We had
awesome.
our awards ceremony at the end of the year last year. Part of that ceremony is to announce the various scholarships that students have received. And it was just overwhelming.
That's amazing. Oh my
Yeah.
gosh, I wish you could see. I have chills hearing that. That's just ah. Now, you last time we spoke, I didn't know this until this week. You had a student have some pretty big success with this, and she said that the scholarship system was part of it. Can you share more about that?
Yes. So we had a senior who, excellent student in terms of academic, extracurriculars in the school, very involved. And she and her mom came to me at the beginning of the year, as parents do, and they were worried about paying for college. You know, Working family, but we're concerned. We don't have the money to pay for college. Where do we begin? And of course, we go through the whole financial aid process and scholarships and so forth. But the scholarship system booklet was available. And I went through the book with them, some of the benefits, and they were one of the families who received the scholarship program that you guys offered, and they worked that program. And I can't tell you how many times throughout the school year that her mom would email me or either, swing by the front office. Hey, I just want to let you know that we just got $1,000. Um, you know, we found out that we qualify for this. And to make a long story short, um, she invited me uh, to her graduation party for the family.
Oh, wow.
And one of the things that she shared um, before the event was the fact that without this system, they would have, of course, would have been able to go to college, but they would have had loans that they had to take out. But anyway, to make a long story short, not only is she at her university today, but she is there 100% debt free. No
Ah!
loans, none,
Oh
no
my,
loans at all,
seriously, I have just goosebumps. Oh my gosh. That's
none.
amazing.
Yeah. And so parents, of course, they have asked her, how did you like what did you do? I mean, how'd you do this? And she'll tell them it was a scholarship system.
Mm.
And if you do what it says, you can have the same thing, but you have to work it.
Oh my gosh. I seriously, the chills. I think I'm gonna have goosebumps the whole week. That is amazing. And I told you this. I just, this is what makes us go. This just means so much to us to hear these results. And even if it's not even necessarily, I mean, a debt-free ride is incredible, but even if they can just knock off 5,000 a year or 10,000 a year, that still adds up. And then they can keep doing it each year and get more and more money like I did actually. So this student did better than I did with the steps. So, but I just want to point out for those listening, it's not a get easy button or just do it for me button. This student worked the system. Clearly her and her mom were a team and had your
Yes.
support. So it is definitely a team effort here. But I love hearing that they needed those steps to follow
Mhm.
and they took it and they ran. And
They did.
that's amazing.
They
That's
did. They did it. The scholarship system booklet. It became. I mean, it was the book that they referenced for everything. Well, go back and look at this step. Now, did we do this? Did we do? So it's just a guide. It is a guide.
I love it. Man, I love it. So I think if there's just to wrap this up quickly, if there is something that you think the scholarship system really made a difference in, what do you think the biggest thing, like why did this make a difference? What was it that finally got the students to, was it that it just got them to apply, or did it just give them clear steps to follow? A little bit of all of that. What do you think?
I think one of the several things, but I think the biggest is that um, it was a very specific uh, system that they could follow where they just didn't feel as if they were just applying and just kind of shooting in the dark and not knowing, kind of how it would land. And let me give you an example. Um, Oftentimes, students will apply for scholarships based on how much the scholarship is worth.
Mm,
And instead of applying for scholarships where they meet the initial criteria and kind of go from there. And that's one of the points that is in the scholarship system, is to be very intentional
mm,
about where you apply, and just don't apply because it's the website and it's $10,000 and it's due by. No, we're not doing that.
yeah.
We're going to apply to those that we qualify for based on the criteria, and then we kind of go from there. So that was the biggest thing. I mean, it saves time because you're not just haphazardly picking and choosing different scholarships, but very specific. And I think that made a world of difference.
Absolutely. And I'll
Mhm.
say from my own experience, before I knew what to apply to, I applied to dozens and later found out they weren't even legitimate scholarships. So just
Mhm.
like you said, narrowing it down and giving that focus on what's actually worth our time. Yeah, not only does it save them time, but it also increases the chances of them even winning because they're actually legitimate. So, uh,
Absolutely.
yeah, that's such a great one to pick out. Man, I love it. Well, is there anything else that you'd like to share if someone's on the fence about the scholarship system, or any final words?
Well, I would certainly suggest that, take a look at the program. It does work, and it is work involved with it. I mean, students and families, it is detailed, but it is a system, and you approach it as a system by following the steps. And if you do so, I think that you will see results. And it may or may not be, a full ride, as we talked about earlier, or, completely covering the cost of their students' education. But again, any financial uh, incentives and any scholarships that your students can earn will be a benefit, not only for your student, but for your family as a whole. And, we talk about, even financial literacy, that's a part of the program as well, and we know how important financial literacy is. And so it's just a teaching tool, and I believe that not only for scholarships, but it is a teaching tool about finances, which is extremely important for students as they graduate and go on to post-secondary education, and then into their careers. So it's a comprehensive system that will guide students from high school and beyond.
I love it. I love it. Well, thank you so much, Marietta. I appreciate you sharing this. And man, like I said, I just love hearing these stories. That's what keeps us going. So thank you so much for sharing this. And hopefully, we'll have even more to share after this year.
That will be wonderful. Thank you again.